Hi, it's me, Dr. Daniel, and I wanted to talk about one of the most common questions or requests that we actually get from new patients, and that's on the topic of food sensitivity testing and whether or not we even do it. Uh, while it's important to acknowledge that food sensitivities are very real and problematic, they're not a place to start when it comes to overcoming them. Having to avoid a particular food or food component can be challenging, and it's really just shitty, right? When you're trying to live your life, your best life, and you have to watch out what types of foods you need to be eating. Given that 1/5 of the population will be affected by some food sensitivity, allergy reaction in their lifetime, it's a topic that requires attention, though. So, first, what's the difference between food allergies, sensitivities, and intolerances? A food allergy occurs when your immune system elicits a response to certain foods. This could be things like nuts or shellfish, for example, and it'll cause things like rashes, nasal congestion, nausea, swelling of your lips or tongue, and of course, the most serious reaction being something like anaphylaxis, where you hear about anaphylactic shock, right? Where airways narrow and the individual cannot breathe. When a certain food prompts the immune system to create internal inflammation, so you eat the food, it causes internal inflammation, that can cause joint pain. It can erupt into acne or psoriasis, chronic allergies and congestion, mucus production. So again, chronic skin rashes, bloating, constipation, even migraine headaches. These are food sensitivities. And then finally, unlike allergies and sensitivities, a food intolerance does not involve the immune system, but it's going to be influenced by our digestive tract, specifically the microbiome. So all that said, if you want to truly evaluate your food sensitivities, it would be very important to make sure that you qualify for the best results. And now this is where it's important because there's a lot of companies out there, they're direct to consumer companies. They're basically just trying to sell you their product, right? They're going to pitch you on or have an ad on their food sensitivity panel to help you to figure it out. And the reality is that's such a gunshot approach. You're missing so much data. And quite frankly, a lot of that data could be inaccurate. One, because they're not doing the right type of food sensitivity testing. And then number two, you haven't gone through the proper checks and balances to make sure that that test is actually what you need. In other words, make sure that your immune system is somewhat balanced or as healthy as you can get it. And also make sure that you're not dealing with any specific gut infections. Those two things can really throw off the results of your food sensitivity panel. And there's nothing worse than spending, a bunch of money on something that is really not going to be of value to you. Whether it's a suppressed or overly activated immune system or microbiome dysfunctions, both of these can influence your results. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. And for that reason, I don't recommend testing right away, but I would recommend testing for food sensitivities and intolerances once you've gotten your ducks in a row. So once you've made sure that your immune system is strong enough. Every single food sensitivity test out there is based on immune function. So if your immune system is in disarray, if you have a suppressed immune system, or if it's overly active, of course you're going to have food intolerances and sensitivities, but are those real, or is that because of that other, underlying immune dysfunction? And then number two, if you've got gut infections, if you've got microbiome imbalances or deficiencies, again, that's going to influence the results or the way that your body's processing food. And so the question of whether or not it's a true sensitivity, in order to answer that, you need to make sure that you go through the appropriate steps of getting the right type of testing. I really consider a lot of the food sensitivity testing in the industry to basically be BS functional medicine. It's sexy. It's a shiny object that a lot of people will gravitate towards to. And unfortunately, there's a lot of money that's being spent on these products and it's unnecessary. Again, we're not here to sell you a functional medicine test just to give you information. We really want to get the answers that you need to be well. And in order to do that, there's a therapeutic hierarchy and an approach that you can do to make sense of it all. I really hope this makes sense. And if you have any questions, certainly feel free to reach out. Hope you have an awesome day.